Hey you guys, I hope you enjoyed the brief fall break that you had, and if you haven't had a chance yet, log in and take a look at your grade for midterms, the comments that I shared with you. I was super impressed. There were several of you that took on projects that I've never seen before. We've had PowerPoint slides, I've had brochures, I've had things along those lines, but some of you took that to a whole different place, which was really cool. Overall, super impressed with the work that everybody did. You did a great job. So now, let's roll on to the last half of the semester. For lesson 9, you have a couple of different things that you need to make sure get accomplished this week. First and foremost, when you log in, I've given you my most favorite example of flawed social science research. So for the first half of the semester, we talked about the definition of crime, examples of crime, how crime is reported, how crime rates are calculated. It was very focused on the actual behaviors themselves, right? So the last half of the semester, we're going to talk about theories of why crime occurs, of why people do crime. So this week is that kind of transition point, moving us from definitions and typologies of crime to theories of crime. We're going to spend this week just talking about social science research in general. Criminological research falls into that category, obviously, and how those theories are developed, how that research is done, what some of those terms mean, and what are some of the ethical considerations when you're doing social science research, whether it's psychology, criminology, economics, anything along those lines. So you have a video, you have a brief segment to read that kind of talks about social science experiments and research structure. And again, I've given you the video of my favorite example of bad social science research, which is just for fun. You also have a full chapter to read from Dr. Smoliger's textbook that deals a lot with how research is conducted, how theories are conducted. This is not something that you necessarily need to memorize and commit to heart. It is a photocopy from the textbook. So there may be a few sections that are a little tough to read. I'm going to try to get an improved copy for you this week so that you just have that available. More than anything else, I want you to pay attention to important words are going to be in bold. They're going to have definitions listed down the side of the page. Any of the examples that are in kind of little text boxes that are set inside the chapter, don't worry about that. You're just reading the content of the chapter, not any of those little peripheral pieces, right? So it looks like it's going to be several pages long, but really you're honing in on those important terms and you're honing in on just what the chapter has to say, not any of those other little pieces that are inserted. Next, you have a discussion forum. So you're going to have a discussion forum this week and a Flipgrid next week. For this discussion forum, I've given you a second textbook chapter about social science research. Your discussion forum is focused on ethical considerations in research. So anytime you're going to do research on human behavior involving humans, whether they volunteer to participate or you're just observing them from a distance, there are a few things that you have to take into consideration. Again, I want you to read through the chapter that I've provided. Ignore any of the little text boxes that are thrown in. You're just reading through the chapter. And I will tell you that there's a glossary at the end and references at the end. So the last 6 or 7 pages of the chapter that I've given you, you're not going to mess with anyway. So it's not nearly as long of a reading assignment as it appears. Read through that chapter first before you tackle the discussion forum. So if I were going to structure things this week, I would read and watch the silly video first. Then you need to read both of the textbook chapters, one from Smoliger, one that's tied to your discussion forum. So you want to post your initial response by October 24th. And just like any other discussion forum or Flipgrid, you're going to respond to 2 other students by midnight on Friday, October 26th. And then you have a YouTube lecture, which is kind of borrowed from a sociology instructor at another college or university that I think she does a great job with an overview of social science research and some of those things that are important for you to take into consideration. You can watch her video anytime during the week. I know on the timeline I kind of have it popped at the very end, but by all means, I think it's maybe a 10 or 15 minute video. You can review that anytime. And now that we're in the second half of the semester, you have 3 additional posts, 3 additional journal entries for Columbine between now and the end of finals week. Some of you have already done 6 journal entries, so from this point forward, you're nothing but extra credits. If you have not, and you have now is the time to get caught up and get to that extra credit point before the end of the semester. Even if you have already earned all of your credit for those journal entries, please, please, please continue to read, because you're going to have questions on your quizzes that deal with Columbine. You're going to have questions that will kind of bleed over into some of your discussion forums and assignments that deal with Columbine, and there are questions on your final exam that deal with Columbine. So if you have any questions or if you need anything, you know where to find me. You can call me, text me, email me. Just let me know how I can help this week. You guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.